My name is Reda Riepšaitė, and I am a cultural journalist here in Lithuania. And I will be moderating this discussion with our four beautiful guests. We will have a talk about why cosplay is an amazing hobby. So it will be a very basic talk, and we won't have any difficult questions. I mean, we just have a nice discussion here. To be honest, I am not a cosplayer. I have never done this. So I will be thrilled to know more about this activity. And I think it's an amazing way to express yourself in a very impressive way. So we have four guests today from Norway, Russia, and Poland. And yeah, I'm just saying hello and asking you to introduce yourself, your cosplay name, and just where you're from. Yeah, let's start with you.
Hello, I am Santatory, and I am from Norway.
And I am Timeforlemontea, and I am also from Norway.
Hello, I'm Violet, and I'm from Poland, your neighbor. Hey.
Hello, I'm Jannet in Cosplay. I'm from Russia. And that's all.
And to begin this discussion, I think we have to just generalize, what is cosplay? I mean, what does a cosplayer do?
Well, it is a way for a person to show affection for a certain fandom or more fandoms, and just it's an expression to show people that you really love that fandom in a very awesome way, I think.
Yeah, and what was the first time every one of you heard about cosplay, and what did you think then?
For me, it was about probably 7 years ago when my friend didn't want to go alone to a convention because it was too weird for her, and I had no idea about cosplay or anything like that. I used to watch anime way back when, and she was like, okay, come with me. So I went with her, and we went to the stage, and there were people dressed really weirdly, doing some weird stuff on the stage and having fun. And I was like, okay, since I'm not a grown-up and I will never be a grown-up, this is something that's really interesting to learn.
Jannet?
Okay, I knew about cosplay like 5 years only, and for me it's hobby, work, and I think now it's like my life.
Yeah, we started cosplaying together in 2012, and I've heard about it before. I had some interest for it, but never actually got to do it until a local convention of ours had Game of Thrones as a theme. So we wanted to make something special for that.
Yeah, but where did you heard about cosplay? What did you think at the moment?
I moved to a bigger city, so I never heard about cosplay until I moved to Trondheim, and that was when I was working at a comic book store, and I was like, cosplay? What the hell is that? And then I got introduced to it by some friends. That's where I also became better friends with you. So yeah, I heard it from a friend at a comic book store, so, you know, gathering of the nerds.
And maybe that inspired you to begin cosplaying?
Well, I have always sort of liked crafting and sewing, and when I heard that I could put some of my passion into that, I just thought, okay, sounds good. And I also like Game of Thrones, so why not? Why not do it?
Yeah, and the same question for all of you. What inspired you to start your first cosplaying?
Well, cosplay is a great way for spending money you don't have. No, but I think the ability to become someone else, like every weekend you are someone else, and there are people who know that character. And for example, if you're a part of some smaller fandom, and you cosplay a character from that fandom, and there are people gathering around. You're like, hey, so you love Firefly too? And I'm like, yes. So yeah.
I think it's the same, but some people ask me about some characters from anime at first, and I like, okay, I will try, and I did it so good, and it was so cool for me, and I don't know, I can't live without cosplay now.
Yeah, and I have the same as you, really. It just, I've always been a creative person, and so now I can combine both the longing for being creative with doing something creating something in the honor of what I am passionate about, whether it's games or movies or, characters that I like.
Nice.
And I've also think that one of the best things in cosplay is meeting new friends. Like, we've met yesterday, and after some drinks and good dinner, I have new friends from Russia and from Norway and from Lithuania. And like every con you go, probably you have the same thing, that you go to a con and you meet people from different cities and different countries, and you hang around with them on con and later on the Facebook. And after some time, it's like, hey, maybe I can come by, and you're in a different country having new friends. And it all started from cosplay.
Just a quick reminder for all the listeners, you can always come to the microphones here on the left and right and ask your own questions. Don't hesitate and be brave. Okay, so continuing on your first cosplaying, what was the first character you did, and how did you do it? How did you feel?
Okay, so for me, it was Vocaloid. I went a long way from there, but it was Vocaloid. I was Margarine Luca, and I had a really, really terrible wig, but at that time, I thought it was amazing because it was all pink and new, and everything was so new. And my debut on stage was at the convention at the same time when we had a rather big accident in Poland, where we had that plane that fell down and all the government was on it and everyone was dead. So that was the same day I was about to go on stage. And the organizers came to us and they say like, so, this happened, so we cannot have like a normal cosplay with music and dancing, so you just come on stage, you say hello, and they just get down. And we had prepared a whole music skit. It was the first time. I was so nervous because I was going to dance on stage. Woohoo! But that didn't happen. So that was my debut. Yeah, cool story.
Sad story.
For our sake, the first time we cosplayed was together, really proper cosplay, and we both went as characters from Game of Thrones. I was Cersei Lannister, and you were Moderator. And that was the start of something big.
Yes, little did we know. But started the first kind of real cosplay for me was Marjorie, but I had done some costume. I did Eowyn from Lord of the Rings for a free comic book day. So that was really actually my first cosplay. But my first convention was Toricon in Trondheim, where we did the Game of Thrones. So, and after that I was like, yeah, I'm gonna continue doing this.
It was fun.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, Jannet? The question was, what was your first character?
Первый cosplay. My first cosplay was from anime. It's Ikitosen, maybe you remember. And it was Ryofu Hosen, like fighter girl with sexy character, and yeah, that's my first character.
And how did you do it? Did you do your costume yourself?
Yes, me, my mom, and yeah, that's all. All family.
Okay. And I have read that, Jannet, you also make wigs yourself? You're a wig maker?
Yeah, I'm a wig maker. It's my favorite work. Was my first work because I like work with hair and wigs, and for now, it's like worldwide work for order and something like this, big something, yeah. International.
So with cosplay, you can become like a wig maker or a costume designer like you, Violet, for example?
Yes. When I started cosplaying, I was still studying graphic design. And since I wasted 3 years for that, I decided to finish that degree. But after that, I went to costume design because I thought this will help me a lot with cosplay. So actually, I went for different university just for cosplay, and it paid off really well since I've learned a lot about sewing, that it's important to make good seams. I bet you can say something about good seams. And a lot of different knowledge about different fabrics and how to combine them and how do they work together. And I think it's a really important thing to know that stuff if you're a cosplayer, because you might think that, oh, hey, this fabric will go really well, and then you put it on and it doesn't stretch, and you're like a mummy, and it's not good.
And you too, you also make your own costumes? You're sewing it yourself?
Yes.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We work with mainly fabric, and these are a bit of leatherworking.
Yeah.
Mainly a bit of crafting when it comes to like polymorph or woodblock,
Yeah.
but not as much as sewing.
And different characters may have very different appearances. How do you choose a character, usually?
That is a great question, actually. I guess that when you just see the sign that you really like, it sort of just pops into my head that I've seen a picture or something, or I've played a game, and I'm like, this character is so cool. I just gotta cosplay it. So that's pretty much what I do. I look for characters that I like, or also design that I like, but cosplay for me is more than just making a costume, because you're supposed to become that character. So if you don't really act as that character, well, then it's not really cosplay, then it's just costuming. So for me, I like to get to know that character, even if I just see a design. So I like, okay, that design is cool, what character is it? And do my research, so.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Or if you're cosplaying in a group, you might want to, instead of focusing on a specific character, you just have it as something to do with the people that you know and your friends, and you just have a great time.
For me, it's 2 different ways, because I work a lot at gaming conventions, gaming events, and at those I'm supposed to be recognizable. So I usually do League of Legends characters. I don't really play that game, but the splashes are really, really good. So I pick a character that would look good on me. And I do gender benders, so I make them look okay on me, since either it's a big pigeon or big cat. Nah, that's not really me. But when I do characters for myself, they are always sexy, strong girls that look good and have a great personality. Like Mad Moxie from Borderlands, which is my favorite game, and I would cosplay all of the characters, all of them, even Zero, everything, even trees, because Borderlands is so great. So yeah, the character has to be sexy, but has to have some kind of character, because if it's just a picture, then as you said, you cannot actually cosplay something without putting some effort into creating some kind of personality for it.
And what does it take to add the personality for a character? Just a following question for you, Violet.
Again, please?
What does it take to add a personality to a character?
Well, there's some set of characteristics. So if you see that there's a strong-headed girl, you probably won't be like, oh, swooning, oh, what can I do? But you're going to be that strong, like, make some space, make me some room. And since this is also my character, I can fit pretty easily in that, not swooning.
Okay, and Janet, how do you usually pick your characters?
Often I really like suit, how it looks, and if it looks so cool, I must check character and maybe cosplay. But the most of time I really love character because they have the same part of character like me, like person, and I really feel like this character, and I love be like this character. And sometimes you can make favorite characters of your favorite people. If your beloved people or family love some characters from game or cinema, you can make surprise for them, and it was so cool, it's inspiration, and they're happy, and whoa, something
And
like this.
what are the characters that you have ever done? Which are your favorite ones, for example?
No, for now, I think it's so hard to choose because, of course, it's from childhood, like Ghostbusters, Janine Melnitz, or Lara Croft because of play a lot, and yeah, it's my favorite characters. And some characters because of really hard costume. It's like Witchblade, Satsuki, from Kill la Kill.
Yeah, and the same question for all of you. Which characters do you do usually, and which are the favorite ones?
Borderlands. Again, Mad Moxie, because she has this purple violet outfit. Yeah, and cell shading is so cool.
Did you say what character we would like to make or what we have made?
Which ones do you do usually?
This one. I like being Siri. Because it's one of my favorite cosplays. I've worn her many times and I still want to make more. I've looked at some concept art to maybe create that, and I have a couple more Witcher cosplays I want to make, but I've also cosplayed Cersei a few times, so I might make another dress too, because I like wearing dresses, because I'm a girl.
Favorite cosplay? I don't know really. I love The Witcher. So I have 3 characters that I cosplay from that game, and I am gonna make at least one outfit each for one of those characters. So Yennefer, another one, and Triss, another one, and Anna Henrietta, of course. So, yeah, and also Marjorie Tyrell, because I have a... She's just in my heart. So, yeah, I'm gonna make one last cosplay for her. So, yeah, staying strong.
And what characters do you want to do in the near future? Maybe you have something on your mind? Maybe you have some characters on your mind that you want to make in the near future, new costumes, new characters?
Yes, I have quite a large list of cosplays that I'm going to make in the future. One is Secret. It's coming up soon. And then there is the new Anna Henrietta. It's coming up. And also a new Triss. So that is 3 characters I'm gonna make in about, I don't know, 6 months. Can do it.
You can do it.
I don't need to sleep.
Or work. But yeah, I want to make another deal. No, I want to make a concept art series, as well as I might do something for the first time anime related. So I kind of want to make Cardinal Katarina Sforza from Trinity Blood, if anyone has seen that. I really like the design and I can really play around with it. It's just theme board project and I want to make it, and it's fun.
Okay, for me, I think the next one would be something Star Wars related, since there's a new premiere coming up. I wanted to make Jedi this year, but then I remembered how awesome Han Solo looks, so maybe it's gonna be a smuggler. I don't know yet, because lightsabers are so cool. Yeah, violet ones. And also, this is a different question for every cosplayer, I think, because we probably all have that folder, future cosplay or dream cosplay, and there's like tons of pictures inside and characters inside. But there's probably gonna be a new League of Legends character somewhere there, probably gender bent, or maybe another race gender bent, because pigeons, yeah.
I think it's classified, and yeah.
One character. Okay. Now back to the cosplay as a hobby. I have a question. What are the best things about doing this hobby? I mean, you have photo shoots, you have interesting traveling, you have mentioned some new people, meeting new people. So what are the best things? I mean, why should everyone try it?
I think we've talked about it yesterday, that the two best moments for a cosplayer is when you put on your costume for a first time and it looks good, because before that you were like, this is not so great, this is not so great, because you were putting on parts, and when you put it on, it's like, whoa. And another part is when you take off your high heels. This is the best feeling ever.
Same goes for corsets.
Yes, corsets.
And wigs.
And lenses.
And lenses, oh. Word without lenses, what's that?
Okay, best two things, putting a cosplay on and taking it off again.
Yes, not being in a costume, not taking it off and taking it off.
No, that's hell.
Yeah.
For me, my favorite part, it's like when you cosplay ready, completely ready, and you wear it at first time. It's so cool, because you like another character, you feel in this dress, you can see your efforts, your how did you do that? You see all of this, and you like feeling a lot of inspiration, because wow. And you're not alone, and people who see it with you and share these feelings, it's motivated you, and it's the most favorite part for me.
Yeah. And I've mentioned traveled. What countries have you visited with cosplay, for example?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
For now, Latin America, it's a lot. It's like Mexico, Costa Rica, Chile, Colombia. Europe, it's Denmark, Spain, Italy, Austria. I didn't remember all. Japan, Tokyo was at first. Yeah, my first trip is Tokyo.
For us, we've been to Italy and Great Britain and Lithuania. Yeah.
Yeah, Lithuania is our favorite, right?
Yeah.
Okay, for me, the Europe, of course, because there's a lot of conventions going on around Europe, and since we have a lot of friends around, it's easier. Hey, do you want to come and be a judge? Yeah, why not? Sure, let's do that. But the farthest I've been was Turkey, is Istanbul. I think that's where we met.
Oh, yeah, I was.
Yeah, and this was a funny story, because it was in between those bombings, the bombs in Turkey, and I was carrying a lightsaber with me, which, when you take off the saber part, can look really interesting. So I had to explain to the customs that, do you know Star Wars? I'm like, no. So in the Star Wars, you have the lightsabers. And it was really difficult to not say that's not a bomb, because if I were to say that, I wouldn't go anywhere. Yeah, but Turkey was fun. Such a different culture. It's another great thing about cosplays. You go all around the world, around the countries, meeting new people and meeting new cultures. Because at least in Poland, when we think about people from Middle East and then that part we don't know a lot about it, and we only hear some stories. And when you go there and you meet those people, it's like, hey, they're the same people. They wear different things. They think differently, but essentially they're the same people. They're also cosplayers. We can go to clubs, we can go shopping, and it's also cool. So yeah, meeting new people and meeting new cultures. This is a really, really great thing for cosplay.
Can you tell any differences between the cosplayer communities in different countries? Are there any differences?
I think it's mostly like what fandoms they like, and maybe I think we've talked about it, like do they have categories like masters or newbies, and how do you go around about starting cosplayers, and do you give them a lot of feedback, or do you put them in different category, and is there an elite? Because there's probably a group of those cosplayers in every country, and I probably shouldn't talk about this, but yeah, essentially all cosplayers everywhere are the same, but the difference are maybe in what kind of cosplay we make, how do we treat cosplay, like is it a hobby, is it a way of life, because in some countries cosplay is not really that popular, so you don't go around telling people, hey, I'm a cosplayer, because people wouldn't know what that is. But in Poland, because we have this esports scene which is really big right now, we are invited to a TV and we talk about cosplay because it's still a novelty, but people are starting to understand what that is and that we're not really freaks. I mean, we are, but we're not like dangerous freaks or, I don't know, like weirdos, totally weirdos. We just love to dress up.
And you have mentioned the cosplayers community in Poland. Can you tell us any cosplay conventions, because we are your neighbors in Lithuania, cosplay conventions or cosplay events that we should visit?
Esports. These are the biggest ones where you have the most cosplayers, most people, and there's a lot of fans of every game character you can imagine, and if you're a fan of League of Legends, that's the place to be. So we have Intel Extreme Masters, which is season finals, I think, something like that. And it's in March in Katowice, and that's the place to be. And also we have Pyrkon in Poznań, somewhere in May, I think. And this is one of the biggest fantasy events in Europe, where if you're a cosplayer, if you're a costume designer, if you go into LARPs, if you just want to be a big cat, you're a furry, you're anything at all, this is a place to be, because this is a really, really big convention, and there's every possible thing related to sci-fi, geekdom, nerddom, science, all that stuff. So yeah, Pyrkon and Intel Extreme Masters. Come visit us.
Okay, and this quick question for all of you. Do you have to be a gamer to be a cosplayer?
Absolutely not. No.
You don't have to.
You don't have to. At all.
The first thing we cosplayed from a game was Witcher, and we started that 2 years ago, and we've been cosplaying for 4 years. So there are so
Many
much
fandoms.
more.
Yes.
To when it comes to categories of fandoms, and you can cosplay from TV shows, and you can then choose a genre, whether you want fantasy or sci-fi, or whether you just are focused on lots of cosplays, when you can do from any modern series, you can do it from films, you can even interpret your own characters from literary works. And I know people that have cosplayed, I know, musical artists.
Yeah.
And so it's not in any way limited to games, though it offers a wide variety and really, really specific references to it.
Pretty much. So
And are you gamers? Which games do you play?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. We play, not as much e-sport, to be fair. I am a role player, so I don't... Well, I played World of Warcraft, and I've played Guild Wars 2, and I've tried League of Legends. Couldn't do it because of the perspective. Nope, couldn't handle it. So I am a RPG player. So, yeah. Witcher and Dragon Age and lots of awesome games.
Yeah, for me it's pretty much the same, although I did handle League of Legends a bit better than you.
Violet?
I started playing games when I was probably 6 or 7, when my dad brought a PC and there was only like Flight Simulator, and so I was flying Apache for the first time. And then there were games like Beauty and the Beast with MIDI files, music files. But now I don't really have that much time as I would like to, and I don't have a computer that could play Witcher, what I would really love to play since it's Polish, yeah. But Borderlands and all those indie games that are not that complicated, so my computer can run them, like Bastion or Transistor or Limbo or an all-time favorite, Grim Fandango with the best soundtrack. And World of Warcraft, yeah, that took a lot of my life. Yeah, I wish I could have time to play World of Warcraft. Yeah, Sylvanas, yeah.
But then you start cosplaying. It takes off the time you get to actually play the game.
Yeah,
When you have to sew
yeah.
it.
Yeah. And Jannet, are you a gamer?
I think people, cosplayers must play a little bit, maybe, for know this character and understand people, why they are gamers, geeks, why they love this game, why they love this character, and only after that you can cosplay so good, only because of it. But I'm gamer, yeah.
Yeah, which games do you play?
For now, Witcher, twice. And I love Oblivion a little bit, and Tomb Raider, and Resident Evil. It's my favorite games for, yeah.
It's scary.
It's
So
not-
scary.
I don't know, it's my favorite. It's so cool, yeah. I think Halo, and maybe, that's all. The Evil Within, but a little bit.
Okay. And I believe we have people that are interested in beginning cosplaying, starting that as their hobby. Do you have any advices for them?
Do it. Just do
Just
it.
do it.
Do it. It's fun. And it might be a little hard in the beginning, but just keep going and love it, because it is one of the greatest hobbies to have. Because, yeah, you meet so many awesome people and you get friends that, you know, shares the love of a certain game or a genre like you do. And, yeah, we're kind of a little community. It's not little, it's huge. But, yes, we're like a family. We take care of each other.
Yeah, and don't give up. Because sometimes you start something and it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to be, and just know that the only person that needs to be happy with what you create is yourself, and you need to make something that makes you feel confident in what you made. And Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It takes practice. It takes a whole lot of practice, but
And money.
And money. But though that again is up to yourself, though.
Yeah.
You can't buy silk or you can't buy polyester.
Yeah.
So it's all what you put into it yourself.
Yeah.
I would say that start with a character you really love. You have some personal connection, and maybe don't start with a, I don't know, Warhammer Space Marine, because you might not be able to finish it. It takes a lot of space, actual space. But yeah, starting maybe not small, but smaller. This gives you the bigger chances to actually finish the costume. And even though you might not be really happy with how it came out because you look at your friends who are cosplayers and like, oh, they're better. But it doesn't matter, you will be there at some point after hours of sleepless nights and working and working.
Bleeding on your cosplay.
Always and crying.
Yeah. What sleep?
But it's worth it.
What's great about cosplay? We're only saying the bad things.
But
We're crying,
it is
yeah,
it
the
is worth
money.
it. Just power through the nights where you wanna cry. But
It's worth it.
it's worth it.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
gives you a lot of cool stories, like when it's 5 in the morning and the birds are chirping and you have to go to a convention in the morning, but you're finishing your costume, and since you don't have a heat gun, you're working with the Warbler on the gas stove, and your boyfriend's waking up like, what the fuck? Like, go to sleep. Go to sleep. Just shh. Just shh.
And find the community, because starting out alone can be a bit troubling, but find a local cosplay group on Facebook. Go to people and ask for their support and make friends. That's the most important part. If you have friends that keep supporting you and you keep supporting them, then you can do it together.
Yes.
And then you make more friends and it's fun.
Yeah, you have mentioned making costume at 5 in the morning. How long could it take to make one costume from the beginning to the very end?
Depends how much sleep you need. The fastest it was for me. It was 4 days for costume from Assassin's Creed. But it was I had an event on one weekend and I had another event on another weekend. I didn't plan it because, yeah, why plan something if you can make it last minute and not sleep and eat and meet people and not do anything but do a cosplay. So we have 4 days for a complete costume, but usually I think it's about 3 to 4 weeks, depending on how complicated it is and how many different materials you need, because if you want to order a wig, which is custom made, you probably should think about it a few months back. Or if you want to order some fabrics from across the ocean, it takes time for them to get in. Or if you order something from eBay, it takes a month to get to you. Yeah.
I think it depends of how much you want to make this cosplay. If you have if you really wish to make this cosplay, and I think 1 week it's okay. But if you have more time, of course, and more difficult cosplay with armor or something like this, it's 1 month or more, of course. And if you have work or something, maybe university, it's more time.
Yeah, like if you have a life.
We usually have around 2 or 3 months per cosplay because we have to work full time at the same time. So, and we're just really, really accurate on everything. And
Yeah.
research is everything.
Yeah, research is, I would say, like 80% of the job, at least for us, actually.
Yeah, we say, for example, 2 months, but at least 1 month or 3 weeks go into simply researching.
It's like you don't really spend months in front of your sewing machine or something, but you might spend like 6 to 20 hours online Googling for references and the perfect fabric, or little tiny details on eBay and waiting for it.
And then it goes to customs.
And it gets stuck there.
Can you tell it's in the details? I mean, do you want to make everything very, very detailed, and how much?
I am a detail freak. I am probably way too accurate for my own good. She knows everything about that. But yeah, I love details. So I try to be as accurate as possible. That means that if there is a seam on a dress that I'm gonna make, my seam is gonna be exactly the same. And I'm gonna have exactly the same amount of seams and the same amount of beads and the same amounts of whatever.
That's why I love creating my own characters, because if the seams is not where I plan it to be, it's like, nah, it was supposed to be there. Yeah.
And that's also wonderful.
Yes. But what was the question?
Are you very into
details?
details?
Yeah. With games is both a plus and a minus, because now with renders that are so detailed, with Witcher or with Final Fantasy, you can see actual seams where every seam should be, and the texture of fabric. So you have to get the right fabric. But with comics or with some games that do not have that realistic characters, you can just go with the flow and do how it feels. You don't really see the texture of the fabric, so you can be creative in that area, or you don't have to be creative if you don't have time. So it gives more space for deciding what do you want to do. But with characters like from Witcher, where everything has its own place and every bead is in the right place, it takes a lot of time and effort to make it. I suppose, since I'm doing my own characters. Lazy.
We have a couple more minutes, so maybe some questions will pop up from the audience.
Give us questions.
This one? Okay. So you've already mentioned quite a few skills you needed in order to cosplay, like sewing, crafting, acting. So what do you think you've learned from all this cosplaying, and what was the most difficult thing to learn or hardest skill to acquire?
I've learned a lot of self-confidence.
Yes.
Yeah, because before cosplay, I was like, nah, I'm still a kind of introvert. But when I'm in character, when I'm putting on a costume, I'm a totally different person. And now I'm trying to be that confident even when I'm not in costume, which is difficult because it's like when you have a costume, it's like you're having a mask. And people don't really see you, but they see Triss, or they see Sith, or they see Lara, and they expect you to behave in a certain way, and you do. And when you take it off, it's like you're you. So you have to behave like you.
I learned to sew. But no, it's really true. You get a lot more confidence and you get better at putting yourself out there. And it really has helped apply to real life, situations. It just, before it was like, no, I can't take a selfie. And now you just, come take pictures of me. Come take
let's make
pictures
some
of
derps.
Yeah. Or, walk around with the selfie stick in the middle of a city that looks... Let's just say that Norway and my city, Trondheim, when I'm walking around talking to myself in another language with a selfie stick, I get a lot of weird looks. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I have a selfie stick, so you guys just deal with it. So you learn to not give a shit.
Yeah, in a good way.
In the best way. Mm-hmm.
I'm learn a lot how to do wigs, suits, makeup, like actor, how to be actor a little bit, and how the most important thing is how to work with people, communicate with people, to make some incredible photos, videos, costumes. Because if you alone, you can't do something amazing. You must be in team, and team is the most important part. Your friends, your team, your family. Yeah, how to work with people and communicate.
Okay. And if we have one more question we could take? Nope. Then I will just say thank to all of you. Thank you. And today, if you are interested in cosplay, you should really visit Cosplay Parade. And I believe we will meet you there.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.